Hey, I'm Brandon with RevZilla, and today on Ride Tested, we are checking out the Sedici Strada II helmet. I've got my trusty Triumph Thruxton here. We've got some beautiful weather. So without further ado, let's hop on the bike and check it out. So, the Sedici Strada II helmet. I know Sedici might have a bit of a stigma. If you are familiar with the brand, in the past, there's just some products out there that weren't my favorite, and I'm sure a lot of you might have experienced that or heard something about it. But I'm here to tell you the product line has vastly improved, and that's mainly because now we have a team working directly with the designers and the manufacturers. Ed in particular, who you all might know as Buzzsaw. He used to do a lot of modeling for Anthony back in the day. He's still with the team and helping them develop gear and improve stuff. And this helmet is a prime example of one they knocked out of the park. I don't know if you are familiar with the previous generation, but the previous model had like these pucks on the face shield on the side, and they would just get loose or fall off or you'd lose them. It was just not the best design, and the interior was really not the most comfortable option. At that price point, it wasn't the worst helmet, but this is night and day improvement, and it's still around that $200 marker, which is pretty impressive. And it's nice and sunny out today, so might as well throw down that old internal sun visor, which is a huge benefit, obviously, for a lot of commuters and, just daily riders out there. However, one of the cons for me, this is just really very much personal preference, is that the mechanism for the shield is on the left-hand side, and that's right where I like to mount my Bluetooth communication system. I prefer it to be right up top because I don't manipulate my internal sun visor as much as I'm like adjusting volume or like changing the song on my Bluetooth unit, and it has to be further back. As you can see, you can mount it. I've got my Cena 20S over here on the side, so you can certainly get that going, but it's not my favorite position because now I gotta bend back there a little bit more. I mean, yeah, it's a difference of a few inches, not a huge deal, but if I had to nitpick something, that would certainly be one of those things. Obviously, one of the major benefits here is the bang for the buck factor. Holy cow. $200, as I mentioned before, maybe like $210, $209, somewhere around there. Really, really not bad considering what you're getting. You've got a fiberglass and Kevlar shell, 3 shell sizes, relatively lightweight, 3 pounds, 5 ounces, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that one, but it is definitely lightweight considering this price point. And if you start looking at all the other options out there, it's ECE certified. There's a lot going on, a lot of bang for the buck. And the interior, I think this is another note worth mentioning. The interior, you've got a little bit of adjustability. It's not much. It's about 5 millimeters of adjustability on the top padding here. So, if you've got a little bit of pressure there that you want to relieve, you can peel that away. Tell me another helmet around the $200 price range that is giving you the same stuff. And I think you might have trouble finding that. So, intermediate oval with the fit there. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that. I can get away with round helmets, but I'm definitely more of an intermediate oval, and this is fitting me perfectly fine in a medium. I typically wear a medium, so no complaints there. I also did want to mention before I forget, there are different versions of this helmet as well. There's a carbon fiber version. There is this Primo version. For those of you looking for that Snell certification, maybe you're wanting something that's economical, but if it doesn't have that Snell cert, you're not going to use it. I do know people like that. So there is the Primo version, which loses the internal sun visor, but you do get the Snell certification on the back, whereas this just has the ECE certification. Oh, the Parlare version of this helmet has the built-in Bluetooth communication system. To each their own there. It's an improvement from the previous models. It was, I think, the DW05 before. Now it's the DW06, which is, Bluetooth 4.1 and got a bunch of good stuff for you. But the Bluetooth is already built into the helmet, so no need to add anything there. So there's benefits to that. But personally, I like having my own standalone communication system. I bounce around between Cena as well as Cardo, depending on if I'm doing a ride tested. The point I'm trying to make here is that I like being able to take my Bluetooth unit off and transfer it to another helmet because I'm testing gear constantly and bouncing around between various helmets all the time. Let's talk about some of the questions. I always like looking into questions. What are people asking? What do they want to know that might not have been covered before? One of the questions that comes up quite a bit is glasses. Can you comfortably wear glasses with this helmet? It's going to dramatically change from one rider to the next. You know, how are your ears positioned in the helmet? You know, some people, we're all built differently. Are you wearing really thick frames? I think you can wear glasses with these fine. I was just wearing some shades just to test it out because I know that was a question, and they had some thick frames on them. And it was fine for me, but other people it wasn't. Probably not answering your question, but I would recommend getting thin frame glasses if you know you ride routinely and you're going to need your glasses. It's as simple as that. Can you add a Bluetooth communication system was another great question that popped up quite a bit. As you can see, you can. I just had to push it back further than I typically like. But mounting it, you know, speakers fit in there just fine. There's a little recessed area on the inside, so pretty easy to fit a comm system in here. And then the excess wiring that I had, I just kind of put behind the liner itself and just snapped it in and didn't have to use any tape. I usually do just to clean it up, but it was very easy to just kind of tuck underneath the liner there and snap it in place. And it doesn't feel weird, or I don't feel like I have any pressure or anything like that. So the other question that came up, people wanted to know about the noise level, and that is an excellent question. I actually forgot my earplugs today, and I have to hop on the highway for about 45 minutes to get out to the roads back here. I was like, oh boy, this might be bad. You know, you never know, especially at this price point, how the interior is going to sound or how quiet it is going to be. And I was pleasantly surprised. I would definitely say it's on the quiet side of the spectrum. And again, I keep saying this, but especially when you're considering the price point and when you compare it to the other options in the market at this price, it's pretty impressive. I genuinely wouldn't hesitate to recommend this to a buddy who's like, man, I need a new lid, but I'm not trying to spend more than $200 right now. I would recommend checking out the Strada II, especially if you're looking for an internal sun visor. Well, that's all I got for you today, folks. If you got $200 burning a hole in your pocket and you need a new lid, I definitely think this is one worth checking out. Of course, we do have the detailed product breakdown, so you can check that out as well. I'm going to get back to riding. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you got any questions. Hopefully you've got some beautiful weather like I do today and you're getting out on two wheels. As always, keep it pinned. Woo!